I'm Krishandak. Today on CYInterview, we welcome singer Norelle. She'll be back here during the big game football week to perform at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas on February 9th. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, also, this coming week, she'll be releasing her new single titled Again. Norelle, thank you so much for joining us on CYInterview today. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well. And also joining us today is CYInterview sponsor, the founder of Epic Financial Strategies LLC, Mr. Rob Gill. Rob, thanks for joining us today on CYInterview. How are you, sir?
Hey, Chris, happy to be here. Norelle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So just to begin, Norelle, why are you coming back to Las Vegas on February 9th? You're going to be at the Cosmopolitan. You're going to be performing with Leon Bridges. There's going to be a lot of, as I like to call it, side events, entertainment events leading up to the biggest football game of the year that will, of course, take place on Sunday, February 11th. Tell me about why you're coming back to Las Vegas.
You just kind of summed it all up so professionally because you are a professional. But yes, I'll be back in Vegas to perform with Leon Bridges at the Cosmopolitan. It's going to be a really amazing show. I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, going to be a part of a lot of the side events. And it's Las Vegas. There's always things happening in Las Vegas. So to bring the Super Bowl to Las Vegas is going to be Las Vegas on steroids. So it's always going to be something to do. And, I'm just grateful to be back and to be a part of all of the magnetic energy that's going to be in Las Vegas next week and into the weekend.
I mean, looking at big events every year, of course, we think of the Oscars, we think of the Grammy Awards, we think of the Emmy Awards, events like that. But then aside from that, the biggest sporting event of the year, of course, is this game. And aside from, of course, the football game itself, there's the Super Bowl halftime show, of course, this year with Usher and all of those other things. What is this experience like, though, to be an entertainer at the biggest sporting event in the year outside of the usual industry artistic events that you're at?
I mean, I think you summed it up. It's one of the largest musical performances, in the world. And so it kind of takes on its own identity itself. It is this isolated incident that is happening, and it requires so much of your attention and energy, and you just have to perform at the highest level. Like, only the top artists get the opportunity to perform at a halftime Super Bowl show. So to be a part of two of those has been really amazing, and I can't wait to see Usher perform. It's going to be outstanding, out of this world. It's going to be really amazing.
So just to break it down for you, for people to know, you were a backup singer, background singer for Jennifer Lopez and Shakira in Miami in 2020, and then of course last year Rihanna in 2023. What were those experiences like working with those three artists?
It was amazing. So for Jennifer and Shakira, that was my first time working with them as a background artist, a background vocalist. So it wasn't really hands-on as much as it was with Rihanna, because I've been singing with her since 2012. I've done her last 5 or 6 tours. So with Shakira and J-Lo, it was a job. You go in, you do your thing, you're hired to perform a certain way. But it was amazing. Like, it was my first Super Bowl halftime show, and just to walk on that field, it was literally magnetic, electric.
Hey, Rob, Norelle, of course, has performed on some of the biggest stages of your life. What are some of the biggest stages that you've been on? And then, of course, questions for her.
Certainly not the Super Bowl stage. So I'm humbled to be here. But I love to hunt human excellence. I love peak performance mindset, not motivational, but inspirational. A way of thinking and how to manifest that into our existence. And the thing that's standing out to me is you've been around titans, within the industry, and whether it's Rihanna, whether it's Shakira, whether it's Jennifer Lopez. My question is, how do you study them? Because I love to model people that have been there, done that, Match Plus. Is there one was a job yet an unbelievable experience, and was one more than just a job and an unbelievable experience? Not to say one was worse than the other, but how do you study to become that next level of the version of yourself?
For me, honestly, it's all intuitive, and I know that may, not resonate with everyone, but I like to follow my gut and follow my heart and follow those instincts. And when I am instinctual, that allows me to be a chameleon in a sense and kind of just know what is needed in each particular space. So like with Rihanna, I'm comfortable and familiar with that environment, so I know what is needed to get certain things done. With J-Lo and Shakira, although it had not been a long-standing relationship, because I have acquired those tools to kind of just know what is necessary,
Got it.
it was easy for me to just adapt. So it really is just all of the things that I have acquired over my years of professionalism, which now has been like 16 years I've been doing this. So as you grow in your field of study, you kind of just know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
what I heard. Let me just repeat, Chris, if you don't mind. What I heard.
Go ahead. The stage is yours, Rob.
Yeah, no, I heard her say that she's, within these environments, she knows how to excel and play the game within the game and be able to show up and represent herself. Thank you. Here's my question though: Is there? Can you think of things that you've learned that like it was like, wow, that let me incorporate that into another version of me in studying whether their professionalism or how they influence other people. I'm not talking about on stage. I'm talking about behind the scenes to make the stage presence that much even better.
Absolutely. Like, I think if you go into each situation genuinely being a good person and just operating from a space of gratitude, happy to be there. Like, nobody owes me anything. I'm grateful for this experience. I'm happy to be here. And because I'm grateful for this experience, I'm always going to show up and give my absolute best.
I love it.
And also just like genuinely loving what I do. Every artist I've ever worked with, like, they're naturals, but they love what they do. They have fun. You know what I'm saying? And so because they're having fun, they make the environment fun. And that allows, the creative energies to just flow easier. So it's literally, it's no pressure.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Back to you, Chris.
Can you also talk about, interesting enough, Rob, in a couple of days, you have a book release, of course, coming up, Surviving Success. Norelle is releasing her latest song again this coming Friday. Talk about that.
I'm so excited about this song. So oddly enough, I started working on it a year ago while we were in rehearsals for Super Bowl in Phoenix. And so like I had all this plan to kind of like record the song, release it after the hype of the Super Bowl, but it just didn't work out that way. And so I made a promise to myself this year, like, I'm just going to put the music out. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to try to be a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, my art is my art. I love my art. I'm an artist, so put the art out. So more than anything, I am the most excited about setting that goal and following through with it, putting the music out, finishing something that I started. And, if just speaking for myself, I think my vocal performance is kind of stellar. So I'm really excited about putting it out and allowing people to hear it.
Some of Rob's most favorite movies are singing-based movies. So, Rob, what do you love about singing?
I just love the energy that it creates in me. I think that, music therapy, I a lot of my life, because I played college basketball, I grew up in a basketball environment, and it's music is what really has always been able to get me to go from here to here. You could be book smart. You may be able to answer a lot of questions, but when it comes to the action and results, to me, it comes down to actionable results and what that looks like. And music is always a great thing that allows me to practice game speed. Without music, it's very tough for me. So yeah, Chris, I do love any kind of movie with music's related to it and inspiration and overcoming adversity. Jay Bilstein said it best: adversity is life's gymnasium.
Well said. So looking forward to this, Norelle. I know that obviously he's one of the biggest stars in the world, but if you're not on that stage at that halftime show during the biggest football game of the year, you wouldn't know. Any thoughts for Usher and his team who'll be out there for the first time at Allegiant Stadium?
No thoughts. Usher is a professional. He's been doing this for a very long time. He is one of our greatest talents that we will ever lay eyes on. They've got it. They've been shutting Vegas down for years now. I don't expect anything less than the absolute best. I know they're going to kill it. It's going to be phenomenal, and I cannot wait to watch what an amazing show they put together.
What is it? Go ahead, Rob.
With that. So we're 18, 17 days away from the Super Bowl. My question is, like, even today, what is the preparation? How much time every day going in? Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What is that being around that?
It's an all day thing. Like, once you're locked into the Super Bowl, that is your commitment for however many months are allocated to rehearse for it. Like, it was different. The time we rehearsed with J-Lo was different than the time we rehearsed with Reed. So I think it just depends on the artist and, what they want. So, but the Super Bowl, like the planning of it, it's an all-year thing for, the people who are putting together the show before they choose the artist. Once the artist is chosen, it's like it's nonstop until after they're done with their performance at the halftime show.
And for you, the artist, is there the shared experiences must be incredible. Is there a lot of great relationships that come out of it that just move you forward?
Absolutely. Not even just on stage. Like, you meet so many people who are involved with putting on this show. Now it's the Apple Music halftime show. So you get to connect with, people who work for Apple Music, which is always beneficial for an artist because that's one of the major, DSPs, the streaming platforms.
Amazing.
So, and there's people come flying in from all over the world just to be a part of this experience. So, everything is just kind of at your fingertips. So, it's, yeah.
Tremendous. And Chris, if you don't mind, how did you and Norelle meet? I'd love to know how you guys connected.
Well, her management reached out to us, and we've been dealing with her management for a while. So one of her representatives, and that's basically what it was. And I was like, wow, listen, as you know, Rob, the Super Bowl is coming here. It's going to be here. There's all these side events coming up, and CYInterview is going to be at a lot of these things plugged in, and hopefully we'll be seeing Norelle here during that week. What is it like? Have you ever performed at the Cosmopolitan, Norelle? Will this be the first time? It's, of course, one of the major venues in Las Vegas Strip.
This will be my first time. I'm really excited. I already know Vegas is going to be crazy this week. Are you ready for the craziness that's going to happen in Vegas?
Yeah, we're preparing weeks in advance, as you know, months in advance. Here, the media, the entertainers, we're all going to be here. As you know, it's because what's interesting to note is, a lot of people again just think of the game, but they don't think about all of the side events, all of the side entertainment, all of the artists, all of the parties that are held by like the likes of former New England Patriot Rob Gronkowski, for example, Gronk Island. All of these crazy events that happen here, and we'll be here that week of the thing. So let me also ask you, Norelle, speaking about that, tell me about it. You're going to be performing with Grammy winner Leon Bridges at the Cosmopolitan. Talk about working with Leon.
I love working with Leon. He is the first artist that I've worked with that has his sound. I've done a lot of pop artists, but he has this like really unique blend of country, R&B, soul. So it's been really fun to kind of explore this new vibe and new sound with Leon. But he also is just a really great guy, and he's so talented. It's been really, really awesome. So I can't wait to come to Vegas with him to go to the Cosmo. The ladies love Leon.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts come to mind, Rob.
Norelle, I thank you for sharing your success journey. I really appreciate it. If you don't mind me asking, where did it all start for you? And by the way, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Sure. So it all started in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I'm from, born and raised. I literally was just born with a natural affinity and ability for music and singing. Like, I remember being 4 and 5 years old at preschool singing Sade, Smooth Operator, because that's what my mom, was playing. And so
my version of Smooth Operator is Big Daddy Kane, but go ahead.
No, Smooth Operator, that's
No, but Big Daddy Kane has a version of that. Big Daddy Kane, the rapper, the BIGDAW.
Yeah. I wasn't listening to that.
Well, I'll make sure Chris gets it to you, because that's my version of Big Daddy.
I got you. But yeah, it all started at home. Like, I just literally have always wanted to sing my whole life. And so, like, this is the one thing that I've been doing consistently for all this time. And
did you ever get to perform for the Cavaliers, Cleveland, when LeBron was there? Did you ever do any stuff with the
NBA? I think I sang the national anthem once in 2012 when LeBron was with the Cavs.
Yeah, she sung the national anthem at NFL and NBA games as well. She was at the Cleveland Browns game this year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. That's
where do you see yourself in the next? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, as
the next 5 years. Like, still creating music, still, just like living out my dream and making a living off of my artistry, traveling, doing tours for myself, and still with other artists, writing for other artists and myself, just like all things creative. Like, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I feel like more opportunities will just continue to, meet my preparedness, and I will continue to excel in, the area that I'm in and continue to make strides in my field.
Amazing. Chris, back to you, brother.
What's interesting to note is Norelle is plugged into what we like to call the artist into the professional sports, obviously being at 2 Super Bowl halftime shows and obviously performing the national anthem at NFL games and NBA games. Like, what is that like to cross-pollinate into sports and how to make those opportunities? And I'm sure people always wonder, it's like, how do they find the people to sing the national anthem at the sporting events?
So like Rob asked earlier, the people that we meet in these, these situations. By doing the Super Bowl last year with Rihanna, I have built and forged a really great relationship with the director of music for the NFL. And so, with us building that relationship, him knowing my ability, was able to reach out to a few teams and get me plugged in with those anthems. The Nets game, the basketball team, Brooklyn Nets, where I sang the national anthem, the person who puts that together actually was at the Alicia Keys tour, which I did last summer. He was at her show at Barclays, and he found me after the show and was like, I think you're amazing. Please come back and do the anthem. And he followed through with his word, and he brought me back, and I did the anthem there. And similarly with the Cavs, like I've just kind of been in communication with them, and we were just trying to figure out when it would work for my schedule, and we made it work. So some things are by relationship, some things are just kind of people seeing me and like saying, hey, you're awesome, I would love for you to come do this.
Rob?
Yeah, no, I think it's proximity is power. So that's the circles that she's been in. She has actionable results and proof of concept. You can watch any kind of tape, and I know Alexa and I heard her sing, and it was amazing. So I think between proximity, vision, and I think that proof of concept, she's got the three-legged stoolers. Jay Bilstein would say the tripartite division of what it looks like for her to take that next step forward.
Rob, and then so let me ask you, Rob. Then so from Surviving Success, which is coming out, what would be one thing in the book that would relate to Norelle, in your opinion?
Well, it sounds like because I didn't get deep enough, but Surviving Success is about when you get to that next level of success, the obstacles that are either self-created or mental obstacles that you don't think you could overcome. I'm speaking for myself right now. So for me, every time I climbed the ladder, I kind of created chaos around me, but it was on a deep subconscious level because of my own wealth wounds and really, not dealing with the issues that I had growing up. So I think Surviving Success is a book about how to not only, there's a map on how to achieve success, right? But what does that success look like? And then, oh, by the way, how do you survive that $250,000 check? How do you survive the $2 million income? How do you survive that if, in fact, you don't have I may have the mathematical tools, I may have the people around me, but if emotionally I've never dealt my wealth wounds that exist since I was 5 or 6 years old, I'm going to spend money that I shouldn't be spending it on, right? So that's what the book is really about. And then how do you replace yourself in your business instead of working in the business? How do you work on the business to the point of what you said before, not only where you're producing your own records, but also writing and doing other things in the business. That's not just a one-trick pony, right? But then how do you create a system around that where it could be systematized and you could scale it? Like those are the questions that come to mind in the book, and I think what Chris was asking.
I have a great follow-up question for Norelle, honestly, to tell you the truth. So seeing Rihanna for more than a decade and seeing her perform and become one of the biggest pop stars in the world to becoming, the big businesswoman she is with all of her beauty products and all of her lingerie lines and all that stuff, like, how does that inspire you in general?
Oh, man, it inspired me so much because diversifying yourself is really important. Just not staying in one lane, so I definitely have other aspirations that, expand beyond just being an artist, like I said, but still in the creative world, writing for other artists, that allows me to still, use my own creativity, but to, like I said, like do it in other spaces. I'm also just involved in other things. I'm a mother as well, so I have that whole thing going on too. So yeah, just diversifying and not putting all your eggs in one basket and utilizing all of the gifts and the skills and interests that you have, that can kind of get you into different lanes.
Rob, final questions?
I wish I was going to the Super Bowl just to watch the performance.
Yeah, here's my response to you. What's just as good as that, Rob, is that Usher has a residency here in Las Vegas, which he's been doing for a couple of years, and it's become the hottest and most buzzed about one. All the different celebrities and stars have had some interesting interactions with him over the course of these last couple of years. It's been blown up down here at the Park MGM here at the Las Vegas Strip. It's just become a real celebration of music and R&B music in his career, obviously. And also, interesting enough, he'll be releasing his new album, his latest biggest album actually on Super Bowl Sunday as well. So go figure that. So final question, Norelle. You'll be here for the Super Bowl, but you'll be on the sidelines this time. Going to be a different kind of experience. Who are you looking forward to spending some time with when you're not performing? Like is there a group of you that have like all these plans to get together?
No, my week is so busy. Like I have
Gotcha.
to stay focused and disciplined. Like I can't do a whole bunch of hanging out because I don't want to miss what is important. You know, like that is my
I get
business.
that.
When I'm there, when I
get
have
that.
some time, maybe I'll go out. But no, I'm working.
Are you staying? Are you going to stay past the Super Bowl for a couple of days, or are you going right? Are you going back? Home?
No. I'm gonna get up out of there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to be here for a couple of days in between the craziness, and hopefully we'll be able to go over and say hi. So we'll just leave it at that. Norelle is single this week again, comes out, and again, you'll see her Friday, February 9th, performing with Leon Bridges at the Cosmopolitan on the Las Vegas Strip. So for singer Norelle and CYInterview sponsor Rob Gill, thank you both for being on CYInterview today.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Norelle.
Bye bye.
Okay.